Okay, right, we've got a Harrison machine here, hand frame. It's called a hand frame because it's worked by hand. Made approximately 1898, so it's a fairly old machine. This is the frame, cast iron, which holds the top of the machine together. These are the two running rails, back and front, which the head, which is this part here, runs in and goes backwards and forwards. Underneath these two cam boxes are cams which make the needles, which are in these needle beds, go up and down and receive the yarn. Now the needle, I don't know whether you can see that, but the needle is the needle butt and the shank, and then the latch and the hook, and the yarn is laid in that hook there, and that's how it forms a stitch. Now I'm going to set up because there are several component parts for the setup. This is a setup, and what we're going to do, we'll take the wire out and we make one row. We then put the setup through the underneath of the bed so that all the eyelets are now clear of the stitches, and we put the wire back in, which is a bit of a fiddly job, particularly when I've got the wrong glasses on. Now the idea of this is to keep the fabric under tension the whole time that it's being knitted, so we have to put some weights on it to hold the fabric down, and these are the weights. They go underneath and fit into the setup. Right, we've now done the first row. These are the needles. You've got the butt down here, which is moved up and down by the cam box on the head. You've then got the shank, you've then got the latch, and this is the latch. Then you've got the hook at the top. And what this does, as it's moved up and down by the cam box, the old stitch is pushed up past down onto the shank. The yarn is then laid into the hook. The old stitch then pushes the latch closed and then forms the stitch. And then you've got the same one happening on the back bed as well. There's the old one. You see the latch has flipped down. Here the latches are all shut. You see all of those latches are shut. And the object is these two brushes, as they come along, they brush up against those latches and knock them open like that, ready for the yarn to go into. Now let's have a look, see what we can see. Comes the head. The brushes are opening all the latches, keeping the latches open, and here's the yarn being fed into the hook of the needle. Why have I done that? Have it a needle.
Okay. Oh well. Do you want to...
We then do 2 rows of circular, which means I'm going to knit on one bed only, not on both beds. Take that out of action, and now I'll just be knitting on the back bed. When we come back, we'll be just knitting on the front bed. We now bring both beds into operation, and we start knitting the rib. Now the reason we're doing 2-in-1 needles is because it gives the fabric tension and it holds the garment into your waist. And it's the sleeve, and we're knitting a cuff, and it holds it onto your cuff. When we've done that, we then go back to knitting on all needles, so all the ones we pushed out of operation are all pushed back into operation again. So we're knitting on all needles. Some of them are a bit stiff. And they're all up. We now go back to doing a row of circular again to lock the new needles in. Back on the wall knitting, and now we do the first row of knitting the garment. And now knitting on all needles. You can see the needles coming up, the brushes are brushing the needles and making sure the latches are down, and then the feeder is coming along afterwards and laying the yarn in the hook of the, you can see it better this way, here. The needle, the old stitch has gone now underneath the latch, the yarn is being laid into the hook of the needle. The old stitch is now closing the latch and pulling the new stitch down through the old stitch. And that's what it does, row after row.